Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Imam Zia, Sheikh from the Islamic Center of Irving, recording exclusively for the Prophet's Path channel on YouTube. The thing that I want to talk about today is parenting in the West. And this subject is something that it can take hours and hours, and a person can write books about it. And in fact, books have been written about this very important subject. The problem is in the West that many of us have this question that growing up in the countries like America, in the UK, in Europe, etc., our kids are faced with an environment that is poisonous to them from an Islamic perspective. The peer pressure that they face in terms of the drugs, alcohol, girlfriend, boyfriend, all other peer pressures that our kids face in school makes it a huge challenge for us as Muslim parents to raise our kids in a Western society. But there are a few pointers that we could refer to when it comes to being good parents. The first and foremost thing is to be good role models. We need to be good practicing Muslims first and foremost. And if we're not, then we cannot expect our kids to follow suit. If, for example, a person is drinking in his house alcohol, or he's smoking, and he tells his kids not to do the same, he's being hypocritical. If a person is not praying himself and he tells his kids to pray, he's being hypocritical. And our kids are smart. They can see through this hypocrisy, and they will tell you. They may not say it the first time, they may not say it the second time, but as they get older, they will tell you in your face that you don't pray, why are you telling me to pray? You drink alcohol, why are you telling me not to drink alcohol? So, keeping this point in mind, we need to be good role models. Number two, it's never too early to start. We see in the case of the Sahabi Umar ibn Abi Salama, who was sitting in the lap of the Prophet ﷺ, how big do you have to be to sit in the lap? 3, 4, max, maybe 5. But at that age, the Prophet ﷺ taught Umar ibn Abi Salama how to eat from the dish. Umar ibn Abi Salama says that I was eating with the Prophet ﷺ, وَكَانَتْ يَدِي تَطِيشُ فِي الصَّحْفَةِ, and my hand was wandering all around the plate, meaning I was making a mess of the food that I was eating. So the Prophet ﷺ, he advised me and he said, يَا غُلَامْ سَمِّ اللَّهِ وَكُلْ بِيَمِينِكَ وَكُلْ مِمَّا يَلِيكَ. Oh boy, say first and foremost, Bismillah, and eat with your right hand, and eat that which is close to you. He gave 3 golden pieces of advice to this very young Sahabi. And the Sahabi says that I remembered and retained that, and that was the way that I continued to eat for the rest of my life. So here we see an example that the Prophet ﷺ is giving a very young Sahabi advice, and this Sahabi retains it because of his young age. So we should not think that my 6-year-old, my 7-year-old, my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old is too young yet. I don't need to advise him, I don't need to tell him what to do. He's too young. We need to start early. And the Prophet ﷺ, he also instructed us that kids should start to pray by the age of 7. And this is, again, they're not going to do that unless we teach them how to pray. So these are small pointers, and we could go on and on with a lot of advice that could be given to parents of kids that are growing up in the West. But these 2 pointers, inshallah, they are sufficient for today. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me and you and everyone the tawfiq to understand and practice what I've said. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.